My friend, I'm going to ask you a question. Be honest. Do you wait for the end of every month? Do you count down the days until your salary hits your account? And most importantly, when that money arrives, do you worry whether it will last until the next month? If you answered yes, you need to accept a reality. You've fallen into the salary trap. And this trap will never make you rich. John D. Rockefeller, the richest man in history, said something. Listen carefully. A person who works only for a paycheck will never achieve true wealth because they are selling their time for money, and time is limited. This isn't just a saying, it's a fact, a mathematical fact. Poor people get up every morning, go to work for hours, and get a salary at the end of the month. The rich? They build systems, build assets, and make their money work for them. Poor people work for hours. Rich people work for systems. Now, you might be thinking, but I have a secure job. My salary comes in regularly. Isn't that a good thing? No, my friend. That's an illusion. There's no such thing as a secure job. There are only secure systems. And the salary system will never set you free. Today, I'll show you exactly why working for a salary keeps you poor. And you'll learn how you can do what Rockefeller did, build wealth. If this resonates with you, if you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if you're ready to build real wealth, click the like and subscribe button right now. Because we're creating a community of people who reject wage slavery, build wealth, and seek true financial freedom. And I want you to be part of this movement. Here's what we'll cover. What the paycheck trap is, why it will never make you rich, and the 3 things Rockefeller did: business ownership, investing, creating multiple income streams. These aren't just theories. These are the principles used to build $400 billion, adapted to your life. Let's get started. The salary slavery reality. First, you need to understand a truth, and this truth might hurt, but it's necessary. As a salaried employee, you're a slave, a modern slave. There are no chains, but you're not free. Every month, you wait for the paycheck to come, for the bills to be paid, to survive. That's not freedom, that's dependency. Rockefeller started working at 16 as an accountant. He earned $3.50 a week, very little. But he noticed something. His boss earned more than him without doing anything. Why? Because his boss had a system. Rockefeller was just working for hours. At that moment, he made a decision. I will never work just for a salary. I will build a system. And that decision made him the richest man in history. Now let me show you the facts, because math doesn't lie. Think of an average salaried worker. They earn $50,000 a year. Sounds like a good salary, right? If they work for 40 years, they'll earn a total of $2 million. Sounds like a lot. But wait, taxes? 25 to 30% is taken. That leaves $1.4 million. Living expenses? Rent, bills, food, transportation. 70% goes to expenses. That leaves $420,000. You worked for 40 years, every day, every week, and you have $420,000 in 40 years. Is that wealth? No, it's survival. Now think about an investor. They put the same $50,000 into the system. They build assets. They start a business. They buy real estate. With a 10% annual return, that turns into $2.2 million over 40 years, passively, without doing anything. But here's the best part. The wealthy don't wait 40 years. They build the system in the first 10 years. The next 30 years, the system works for them. Do you see the difference? A salaried worker works for 40 years and saves $420,000. Someone who builds assets works for 10 years and earns millions. The poor sell their time. The rich sell systems. The poor trade their hours. The rich grow their assets. Why salary is a trap? Now let's dig deeper, because you need to fully understand the salary trap. The salary system tells you 3 lies, 3 dangerous lies. Lie 1, security. They say, you have a secure job. You get a regular salary, that's security, they say. But think about it. You work for a company. The company could fire you tomorrow. The economy could worsen. The industry could change. You have no control. Is that security? No. That's relying on someone else. Rockefeller said, "Those who depend on others are never secure. Only those with their own system are secure." Lie 2. Fairness. If you work hard, you'll get promoted. You'll earn more, they say. Is that true? No. There are ceilings in the salary system. How much your position pays is fixed. No matter how hard you work, you can't exceed that ceiling. Business owner? No ceiling. The more value you create, the more you earn. The limit is you, not the system. Lie 3. Prosperity. I earn a good salary. I live comfortably. That's enough, they say. But think about it, my friend. Living comfortably and being wealthy are two different things. Living comfortably means managing today. Being wealthy means controlling tomorrow. A salaried employee may live comfortably, but they are not free, because if they stop working, their income stops. That's not freedom, that's slavery. What Rockefeller never did. Here's the critical point. Rockefeller understood something early in his career, and this understanding changed everything. He never wanted to be an employee. He always wanted to be an owner. At age 20, he became a partner in a refinery. He invested $4,000, all his savings. Big risk. But what did he do? He didn't take a salary. He took a share of the profits. He wasn't an employee. He was an owner. Do you see the difference? An employee sells their time and gets a fixed salary. An owner builds a system and gets unlimited profits. In the first year, Rockefeller's profit was $6,000, more than a salaried employee's annual income. The second year, $12,000. The third year, $25,000. Exponential growth, because he had the system. He wasn't just selling his time. By the age of 30, Rockefeller owned America's largest oil refinery. He wasn't a salaried employee. He was the owner of a system with hundreds of salaried employees. By age 40, he was a millionaire. By age 50, he was the richest American. By age 60, he was the richest person in history. It all started with the same principle. Never work just for a salary. Always build assets. Your situation now. Here's a question for you, my friend. Be honest. What are you doing? Are you working for a paycheck, or are you building wealth? If you go to work every morning, work for hours, get paid at the end of the month, and this cycle repeats, you're in paycheck slavery. But here's the good news. This can change. You can change it. Today. Now. Because the difference isn't intelligence. It's not connections. It's not luck. The difference is mindset. Poor people think, how can I get a bigger paycheck? Rich people think, how can I build a system that works for me? Poor people look for jobs. Rich people create assets. Poor people wait for promotions. Rich people start businesses. See? The game is different. The rules are different. The results are completely different. Two paths, two outcomes. You have two paths in front of you. Only two paths. Path 1, the salary path. Work for 40 years, every day. Sacrifice your weekends. Postpone your vacations. Do what your boss wants. Retire. Live on Social Security plus a small savings. Keep surviving. This is the path most people choose because it seems safe, because it seems normal, because everyone else is doing it. But the result? You'll never achieve true freedom. You'll never become wealthy. You'll work until the end of your life, and it still won't be enough. Path 2, the path of assets. Work hard for 10 years, but not for a salary, for the system. Start a business, invest, accumulate assets, build a system. The next 30 years, the system works for you. Passive income, financial freedom, true wealth. This is Rockefeller's path. This is the path few choose. Because there is risk. Because it requires discipline. Because most people prefer to remain dependent on others' security. But the result? True freedom, true wealth, control over your life. Which path will you choose? Because here's the truth. Not choosing a path is also a choice. And if you do nothing, you automatically enter path 1, salary slavery. Change starts today. Maybe you're thinking right now, but I already have a salaried job. Isn't it too late? No, my friend, it's never too late. Because Rockefeller also started as a salaried worker at 16. But he changed his mindset. He changed the game. And by his 20s, he was the owner. How old are you? 25? 35? 45? It doesn't matter. What matters is what you do today. If you're still working for a paycheck today, you'll be working for a paycheck tomorrow. You'll be working for a paycheck 10 years from now, until you change your mindset. But what if you change your mindset today? What if you start building wealth today? 10 years from now, you'll be in a completely different place. Poor people wait for tomorrow. Rich people act today. Poor people say, I'll do it someday. Rich people say, I'm starting today. In the next sections, you'll learn exactly what to do, how to break free from the salary mindset, how to apply the 3 things Rockefeller did: business ownership, investing, multiple income streams. But right now, I just want you to understand one thing. I want you to accept one thing. A salary is a trap. And as long as you stay in that trap, you will never become rich. This is harsh. This may hurt, but it's the truth. And the truth will set you free. Because when you see the truth, you can change. You can change the game. You can change your life. Rockefeller did it. You can do it too, but only if you start today. In the next section, I'll explain exactly how the salary mindset works and why it keeps you poor. Math, the tax system, inflation, everything. Are you ready? Because from here on out, everything changes. The salary mindset, the game of the poor. Listen carefully, my friend, because what I'm about to tell you will either wake you up or make you uncomfortable, maybe both. The salary mindset is a trap, a carefully designed trap that keeps you exactly where you are, middle class, comfortable enough not to complain, broke enough never to escape. And here's the worst part. You've been programmed to accept it, to want it, to defend it. But I have a stable job, you say. I have benefits, you say. I have security, you say. No, you have an illusion, and today that illusion shatters. The 40-40-40 plan, the poorest plan ever made. There's a plan most people follow. They don't even know they're following it, but they are, every single day. It's called the 40-40-40 plan, and it's designed to keep you poor forever. Here's how it works. You work 40 hours per week for 40 years and retire on 40% of what you could barely live on. That's the plan. That's what society tells you is normal. That's what your parents did. That's what your friends are doing. That's what you're doing right now. But here's the question nobody asks. Who created this plan and why? Rockefeller didn't follow this plan. Carnegie didn't follow this plan. No wealthy person in history followed this plan. Why? Because this plan is designed for workers, not for wealth builders, for employees, not for owners, for the poor, not for the rich. Poor people work 40 hours, get paid for 40 hours, and think that's fair. Rich people build systems that work 24/7, get paid 24/7, and multiply wealth constantly. Think about it. You work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. But what happens during the other 128 hours of the week? Nothing. Your income stops. Your wealth building stops. Everything stops. Meanwhile, a business owner's business keeps running. An investor's money keeps growing. A real estate owner's property keeps appreciating 24/7, while they sleep, while they vacation, while they do nothing. See the difference? Salary mindset equals trade time for money. Wealth mindset equals build systems that make money. The mathematics nobody shows you. Let me show you the brutal math, because numbers don't lie. People do. Systems do. But numbers? Never. Average salary in America, $60,000 per year. Sounds decent, right? Let's calculate your lifetime earnings. Work for 40 years at $60,000 yearly equals $2,400,000 total. Wow, $2.4 million. You're going to be rich. Wait, let's subtract taxes. Federal income tax, 22%. State tax, 5%. Social Security, 6.2%. Medicare, 1.45%. Total taxes, about 35%. Gone, before you even see the money. $2,400,000 minus 35% taxes equals $1,560,000 actually received. Okay, still over $1 million. Not bad. Wait, let's subtract living expenses. Housing, 30% of income. Food, 10%. Transportation, 10%. Healthcare, 8%. Utilities, 5%. Insurance, 5%. Clothing, 3%. Entertainment, 5%. Miscellaneous, 10%. Total living expenses, 86% of your take-home pay. $1,560,000 minus 86% living equals $218,400 saved over 40 years. Let me repeat that. You work 40 years, every single day, every single week, and you save $218,400. That's $5,460 per year, $455 per month, $15 per day. 40 years of your life for $15 daily savings. Is this wealth? No. This is survival. Barely. Now let's look at someone who builds wealth. Same $60,000 starting point, but different strategy. They take $10,000 yearly, less than 20% of income. They invest it. 10% annual return, stock market average. Year 10, $175,000. Year 20, $630,000. Year 30, $1,800,000. Year 40, $4,868,000. Same starting income, different mindset, different result. Nearly $5 million versus $218,400. That's the difference between salary mindset and wealth mindset. That's the difference between poor and rich. Poor people save pennies from their salary. Rich people invest dollars into assets. Poor people count what they can keep after expenses. Rich people multiply what they invest before expenses. The tax system destroys salary workers. Here's another truth nobody tells you. The tax system is designed to extract maximum money from salary workers and minimum money from business owners and investors. Why? Because the system was designed by the wealthy, for the wealthy. When you earn a salary, taxes are taken immediately, before you see the money, automatically, no choice, no control. Your employer withholds 35 to 40% of your gross pay, every single paycheck, and sends it directly to the government. You never even see that money. It's gone. Before you can invest it, before you can build with it, before you can use it to create wealth. But when you own a business, different rules. Business owners pay taxes on profit, not on revenue. They deduct expenses first. Rent, equipment, travel, meals, education, healthcare, car, phone, internet, all deducted, all legal, all reducing taxable income. Then they pay taxes on what's left, usually much less than a salary worker pays. And investors? Even better. Capital gains tax, 15 to 20%, much lower than income tax, 35 to 40%. Dividend income, taxed at preferential rates. Real estate income, depreciation deductions, 1031 exchanges, massive tax benefits. The system rewards builders, punishes workers, rewards owners, punishes employees. Rockefeller understood this. His effective tax rate? Around 15%. Meanwhile, his employees paid 30 to 40%. Same economy, same country, different rules. Because different games. Salary workers play the employee game. Business owners play the wealth game. And the rules are completely different. Inflation silently steals your salary. Here's another killer. Inflation, the silent thief. Your salary, $60,000 this year. Great. Next year, maybe $62,000 if you get a 3% raise. You feel good. You got a raise. But inflation? 3.5% that year. Your raise didn't even keep up with inflation. Your purchasing power decreased. You actually got poorer. And this happens every single year. Your salary increases slowly. Inflation increases faster. You're on a treadmill, running hard, going nowhere. Let's do the math over 40 years. Starting salary, $60,000. Average raise, 3% per year. Average inflation, 3.5% per year. Year 40. Salary, $195,000. Sounds great, but adjusted for inflation, equivalent to $59,000 in today's dollars. You worked 40 years. Your salary tripled, but your actual purchasing power stayed the same, or decreased. This is the salary trap. You think you're progressing. The numbers go up, but the value goes down. Meanwhile, assets beat inflation. Real estate appreciates. Stocks grow. Businesses scale. Wealth multiplies faster than inflation. $10,000 invested in the stock market in 1980 is worth over $1 million today. That's 10,000% growth. Inflation? Only 300% in the same period. Assets beat inflation by 33 times. Salary barely keeps pace with inflation, sometimes loses. Poor people rely on salary and lose to inflation every year. Rich people own assets and beat inflation by massive margins. The secure job myth. Now let's talk about the biggest lie, the most dangerous lie. Security. I have a secure job, people say. I have job security, they say. Really? Let me ask you something. Can your company fire you tomorrow? Yes. Can your position be eliminated? Yes. Can your industry change? Yes. Can the economy crash? Yes. Can your boss replace you with someone cheaper? Yes. Can automation take your job? Yes. Where's the security? There is none. You're completely dependent on factors outside your control. Rockefeller said something powerful. The only real security is in owning the system, not working for it. When you own a business, you control the system. When you own investments, you control the portfolio. When you own assets, you control the income. But when you're an employee, you control nothing. You're at the mercy of your employer, your boss, the economy, everything external. This isn't security. This is vulnerability. This is dependence. This is risk disguised as safety. And here's the irony. People choose salary jobs because they feel less risky. But they're actually more risky. Starting a business feels risky. But if it fails, you learn and start another, and another, until you succeed. You're in control. Having a salary feels safe. But if you lose it, you're devastated. You have no system, no assets, no alternative income. You're not in control. Poor people seek safety and become vulnerable. Rich people take calculated risks and become secure. Think about it. Who's more secure? Person A, one salary, one income source, dependent on one employer. If that job goes, income goes to zero. Person B, business income, investment income, real estate income, multiple sources. If one goes, others continue, never goes to zero. Person B is infinitely more secure, but society tells you person A is secure. Why? Because society doesn't want you to build wealth. It wants you to stay dependent. The salary ceiling. Here's another brutal reality. Salary has a ceiling. Always. No exceptions. Your position pays a certain range. Let's say $60,000 to $80,000. That's the range. That's the ceiling. You can work harder, stay late, take on more projects, sacrifice weekends. Doesn't matter. You'll never earn more than $80,000 in that position. Want more? You need a new position, new title, maybe 5 to 10 years of climbing. And even then, new ceiling, maybe $100,000 to $120,000. You're always capped, always limited, by your position, by your company, by the system. But business ownership? No ceiling. Your income is limited only by the value you create. Create a $100,000 value? Keep a significant portion. Create a $1 million value? Keep a significant portion. Create $10 million value? Keep a significant portion. The ceiling is you, not the system. You determine the limit. Rockefeller's first year in business, $6,000 profit. Second year, $12,000. Third year, $25,000. Fifth year, $100,000. 10th year, over $1 million. No ceiling, only growth, only expansion, only multiplication. A salary worker in the same period maybe went from $400 yearly to $600 yearly. Ceiling everywhere. Poor people hit ceilings and accept them. Rich people break through ceilings and create new levels. The promotion trap. But I'll get promoted, you say. I'll climb the ladder, you say. Let's talk about that. The corporate ladder. Another trap. To get promoted, you need yes of service, time, political skills, playing games, your boss's approval, dependence, an opening above you, luck, Pfizer to do well, external factors. And if you get all that, you get 10 to 20% salary increase, maybe $6,000 to $12,000 more per year after years of waiting. Meanwhile, a person who starts a simple business can double or triple their income in a single year. No promotion needed, no waiting, no politics, just value creation and customer acquisition. And here's the kicker. The higher you climb the corporate ladder, the more trapped you become. You make $150,000 as a senior director, now you're really trapped. Can't quit. Lifestyle is expensive. Mortgage is big. Kids in private school. Car payments. Too scared to start over. You've climbed the ladder, but the ladder is against the wrong wall. You're high up, but still in the wrong game. Rockefeller never climbed anyone's ladder. He built his own, and put ladders for others to climb in his system. Poor people climb ladders others built. Rich people build ladders others climb. The retirement lie. One more thing, retirement, the ultimate goal of salary workers. Work 40 years, retire at 65, live on pension and Social Security, enjoy golden years. Sounds nice, but let's be honest. Social Security pays what? Average $1,800 per month, $21,600 per year. Can you live on that? Your 401k? If you consistently saved and invested for 40 years, maybe $500,000. Sounds good? With 4% withdrawal rule, to not run out, that's $20,000 per year, plus social. Security, $41,600 yearly. You worked 40 years, sacrificed your youth, your health, your time, your freedom, for $41,600 per year in retirement. Less than you were making while working, and hoping it lasts until you die. This is the dream? This is the goal? This is what you're working toward? Meanwhile, someone who built wealth, they retired at 35. Not because they're old, because their assets generate more than their expenses. They're financially free at 35, not 65. Rockefeller retired from daily operations at 50, not because he was tired, because he had built a system that ran without him. He spent the next 47 years doing whatever he wanted, philanthropy, travel, family, freedom. Poor people work 40 years to retire broke. Rich people work 10 to 15 years to retire wealthy. Poor people trade time for money their entire lives. Rich people build assets once and generate income forever. Your choice today. So here we are, my friend. The brutal reality laid bare. The salary mindset keeps you trapped. The math doesn't work. The taxes destroy you. Inflation erodes you. The ceiling limits you. The security is fake. The retirement is poor. This is the game you're playing, and you cannot win this game. The rules are designed for you to lose. But here's the good news, the powerful news, the liberating news. You can change games. You can stop playing the salary game. You can start playing the wealth game. Not tomorrow, not someday, today, right now. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you exactly what Rockefeller did. Not theory, not concepts, concrete actions, specific strategies, real systems. You're going to learn how to think like an owner, not an employee. How to build assets, not collect paychecks. How to create wealth, not trade time. But first, you need to decide, really decide. Which game will you play? The salary game? Comfortable, familiar, safe feeling, but guaranteed to keep you poor. The wealth game? Uncomfortable, unfamiliar, risky feeling, but the only path to true freedom. Rockefeller chose at 20. He walked away from salary. He became an owner. And he built $400 billion. What will you choose? And when will you choose? Because choosing later is choosing to stay poor longer. The next chapter changes everything, but only if you're ready. Only if you've truly understood this chapter. Only if you've accepted the reality of the salary trap. Are you ready? Then let's move forward to what Rockefeller actually did, to how you can do it too, to building real wealth. What Rockefeller actually did, building assets. Now we get to the heart of it, my friend. What did Rockefeller actually do? How did he escape the salary trap? How did he build $400 billion? 3 words. He built assets. Not salary, not paychecks, not promotions. Assets. Things that generate income without his constant presence. Systems that work while he sleeps. Wealth that multiplies itself. This is the fundamental difference. Poor people collect paychecks. Rich people build assets. Poor people trade time for money. Rich people create systems that generate money. And here's the beautiful part. You can do this too. Today, right now, with whatever you have. The asset mindset. First, understand what an asset actually is, because most people get this wrong. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, every month, every year, consistently, without you working hourly for it. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, every month, every year, constantly, draining your wealth. Simple, right? But most people own liabilities and call them assets. Your car? Liability. Insurance, gas, maintenance, depreciation. Takes money out. Your house you live in? Liability. Mortgage, taxes, repairs, utilities. Takes money out. Your salary job? Liability. Takes your time, energy, freedom. You must work to get paid. Real assets? Businesses that generate profit. Stocks that pay dividends. Real estate that generates rent. Systems that create cash flow. Rockefeller understood this at age 20. Everything he bought, he asked, does this put money in my pocket or take money out? If it put money in, he bought it. If it took money out, he avoided it or minimized it. By 25, he owned 3 income-generating assets. By 30, he owned dozens. By 40, he owned hundreds. Each one putting money in his pocket, each one working for him. The 3 principles of asset building. Rockefeller followed 3 principles, 3 non-negotiable rules, and these rules built his empire. Principle 1. You must own the system, not work in the system. Own it. There's a massive difference. Working in a bakery? You're trading time for money. Salary trap. Owning the bakery? The system generates profit whether you're there or not. Asset. Rockefeller started as a bookkeeper, working in someone else's system, making $3.50 per week. He hated it. Not because the work was hard, because he was building someone else's wealth. At 20, he became a partner in a commodity trading business. Not an employee, a partner, an owner. He put in $4,000, all his savings, but now he owned part of the system. First year profit, $6,000, more than double his investment. Second year, $12,000. Third year, $25,000. Same work, different structure. Employee to owner, salary to profit. Massive difference. Principle 2. The system must work without you. This is critical. Your asset must generate income even when you're not actively working. If you stop working and income stops, that's not an asset, that's a job. Maybe a better paying job, but still a job. Rockefeller built his oil refinery to run without his constant presence. He hired managers, created processes, systematized operations. The refinery ran 24/7. He didn't. This is the goal. Build something that works while you sleep, while you vacation, while you do nothing. Poor people build jobs for themselves. Rich people build systems that work without them. Poor people are the system. Rich people own the system. Principle 3. The system must be scalable. Your asset must be able to grow, expand, multiply, without proportionally increasing your effort. A salary job? Not scalable. You can only work so many hours. Your income has a ceiling. But a system? Infinitely scalable. 1 refinery becomes 5. 5 become 20. 20 become 100. Your income multiplies without your time multiplying. Rockefeller started with 1 small refinery in Cleveland. Within 10 years, he owned 90% of all refineries in America. Same Rockefeller, same 24 hours per day, but 90x the assets. Scalability. This is the key to massive wealth. The mathematics of asset building. Let me show you the numbers, because this is where it gets exciting. Scenario A, salary worker. Income, $60,000 yearly. Time invested, 40 hours per week, 2,080 hours per year. Hourly value, $28.85. You stop working, income equals $0. Scenario B, asset builder. First investment, $60,000 into income-generating asset. 10% annually equals $6,000 first year. Network invested after setup, 0 hours, passive. You stop working, income continues forever. Year 1, $6,000 passive income. Year 5, $9,663 passive income with reinvestment. Year 10, $15,562 passive income. Year 20, $40,364 passive income. Year 30, $104,674 passive income. Same initial amount, but one requires constant work. The other works constantly for you. And here's the magic. You can do both. Keep your salary initially, but start building assets immediately. Use salary income to buy assets. Then assets start generating income. Then use that income to buy more assets. This is how wealth compounds. This is how the rich get richer. This is what Rockefeller did. What rich people do. Number 1, own businesses. Now let's get specific. The first thing wealthy people do, they own businesses. Not work in businesses, own them. This is the fastest path to significant wealth. Not the only path, but the fastest. Why? Because business ownership gives you 3 things salary never can. Thing 1, unlimited income potential. Your income is limited only by the value you create, not by a job description, not by a salary range, by value created. Create $100,000 in value, keep a large portion. Create $1 million in value, keep a large portion. Create $10 million in value, keep a large portion. No ceiling, no cap, no limit, except you. Rockefeller's refinery created millions in value. He kept millions. His employees created value too. They kept their salary. Fixed, limited, capped. Same building, same industry, different results. Because different roles. Owner versus employee. Thing 2, tax advantages. Business owners play by different tax rules. Better rules. Much better. Deduct business expenses before paying taxes. Office rent, equipment, travel, meals, education, phone, internet, car, healthcare, all deductible, all reducing taxable income, all legal. Salary workers? Pay taxes on gross income, then pay for everything with after-tax dollars. No deductions, no advantages, maximum taxation. Rockefeller structured his businesses to minimize taxes legally. His effective rate? Around 15%. His employees paid 30 to 40%. Same economy, different games, different rules. Thing 3, asset value. A business is a sellable asset. It has value beyond the income it generates. Build a business generating $100,000 yearly profit. It might sell for $300,000 to $500,000. That's 3 to 5x annual profit. Instant wealth creation. Your salary job? 0 sellable value. You quit, you get nothing. No asset, no sale, no wealth multiplication. Rockefeller sold portions of his businesses multiple times, creating massive wealth instantly. This is how billionaires are created, not through salary, through asset sales. How to start even while working. But I have a job, you say. I can't quit and start a business. Good. Don't quit. Not yet. Build while working. This is the smart path, the low-risk path, the path Rockefeller would take today. Step 1. Start small, think big. Begin with a side business, something simple, something you can do nights and weekends, something that requires minimal capital. Consulting in your expertise, freelance services, online education, digital products, service business, e-commerce. Start small. Validate the concept, get your first customers, generate your first revenue. Prove it works. Then scale. Then systematize. Then eventually replace your salary. Then build an empire. Step 2. Solve real problems. Your business must solve actual problems, real pain points, things people will pay for. Don't build what you think is cool. Build what people actually need, what they're already paying for, what solves their urgent problems. Rockefeller didn't invent oil refining. He saw a need, cleaner, cheaper kerosene, and fulfilled it better than anyone else. Find a need, fill it better, get paid, scale it. Simple. Step 3. Build systems, not jobs. This is critical. Don't create another job for yourself. Create a system. Document processes. Hire help. Automate what you can. Systematize everything. Goal. The business runs without you. If the business can't run without you, you don't own a business. You own a job. Maybe a better paying job, but still a job. Rockefeller was obsessed with systems, standard processes, replicable operations, everything documented. This allowed him to scale from one refinery to hundreds. The 3 types of businesses. There are 3 main types. Choose based on your situation, skills, and goals. Type 1. Service business. Sell your expertise or labor. Consulting, coaching, freelancing, agency work. Pros: low startup cost, fast to start, immediate income. Cons: time-intensive initially, harder to scale, requires systematization. Good for getting started quickly, building capital, learning business basics. Type 2. Product business. Sell physical or digital products, e-commerce, software, courses, books. Pros: scalable, can be automated, passive income potential. Cons: requires upfront investment, marketing intensive, competition. Good for building long-term passive income, creating sellable assets. Type 3. Investment business. Buy existing businesses or franchises, already proven, already operating. Pros: less risk, immediate cash flow, established systems. Cons: requires significant capital, due diligence needed, management required. Good for those with capital, those wanting proven models, advanced builders. Rockefeller did all 3. Started with service, commodity trading, built products, refined oil, bought competitors, investment acquisitions. You can too. Start with one, master it, add others, build an empire. What rich people do. Number 2, invest money, make it work. Second major strategy, investing. Making your money work for you, while you sleep, while you do anything else. This is Rockefeller's secret weapon. Not just his business, his investments. Money making money. Then that money making more money. Einstein called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. He said, "Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it." Rockefeller understood it deeply, and it made him the richest man in history. Assets versus liabilities, the critical distinction. Let's clarify this completely, because confusion here keeps people poor forever. Assets, put money in your pocket. Intental real estate generates rent. Infaravidend stocks generates dividends. Ons generates interest. Business generates profit. Royalties generates ongoing income. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Car, insurance, gas, maintenance, depreciation. Baptized residence, mortgage, taxes, repairs, utilities. Clothes, gadgets, entertainment. Depreciating items, anything losing value. Simple rule: buy more assets, avoid liabilities, or minimize necessary liabilities. Poor people buy liabilities and call them assets. My car is an asset. No, it takes money out. It's a liability. Rich people buy assets relentlessly. Every dollar goes to things generating income, things appreciating, things multiplying wealth. Rockefeller bought oil wells, refineries, pipelines, railroads, real estate, stocks, all assets, all generating income, all appreciating. He lived modestly despite massive wealth. Why? Because he wasn't interested in looking rich. He was interested in being rich. Big difference. The 5 investment types. Here are the main investment vehicles. Each has pros and cons. Diversify across multiple. Investment 1. Stock market. Buy shares of businesses, own pieces of companies, collect dividends, benefit from growth. Historical return, 10% annually over long term. Minimum start, $100 to $1,000. Liquidity, high, sell anytime. Complexity, low to medium. Best approach, index funds, S&P 500, total market, simple, diversified, proven. $10,000 invested at age 30. Age 40, $25,937. Age 50, $67,275. Age 60, $174,494. Same money, just time and compound interest. This is the power of investing. Investment 2. Real estate. Buy property, rent it out, collect monthly income, benefit from appreciation. Historical return, 8 to 12% annually, cash flow plus appreciation. Minimum start, $10,000 to $50,000, depending on market/strategy. Liquidity, low, takes time to sell. Complexity, medium to high. Advantages, tangible, leverageable, tax benefits, inflation hedge. One rental property generating $500 monthly net income equals $6,000 yearly. That's passive, forever. Plus, the property appreciates. Rockefeller owned massive real estate, commercial buildings, land, generating rent constantly, building wealth passively. Investment 3. Bonds. Loan money to governments or corporations. Receive fixed interest payments. Historical return, 4 to 6% annually. Minimum start, $100 to $1,000. Liquidity, medium to high. Complexity, low. Advantages, lower risk, predictable income, portfolio stability. Not as exciting as stocks or real estate, but important for diversification and stability. Investment 4. Business ownership. Buy shares of private businesses. Become a partner. Share in profits. Historical return varies wildly, 0% to 1,000% plus. Minimum start, $10,000 to $100,000 plus. Liquidity, very low. Complexity, high. Highest risk, highest potential reward. Requires expertise and due diligence. Rockefeller bought competitors' businesses constantly, acquired, merged, consolidated. This accelerated his wealth massively. Investment 5. Alternative assets. Precious metals, commodities, cryptocurrency, collectibles. Returns, highly variable. Liquidity, varies. Complexity, varies. Speculative, not for beginners, small allocation only, but can diversify portfolio. The passive income formula. Here's the goal, my friend. Build passive income that exceeds your living expenses. When passive income into expenses, you're financially free. You don't need a job. You work because you want to, not because you must. Formula. 1. Calculate monthly expenses, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. 2. Multiply by 12 for yearly expenses. 3. Dump-divide by 0.04, 4% withdrawal rule. 4. Important equals your freedom number. Example, $5,000 monthly expenses equals $60,000 yearly. $60,000 divided by 0.04 equals $1,500,000 total investments needed. At 10% return, $1,500,000 generates $150,000 yearly, far exceeding $60,000 expenses. You're free. Sounds like a lot? It is, but it's achievable, and it's the only path to true freedom. Rockefeller reached this point by age 35. His passive income exceeded his expenses by 100x. He never needed to work again. But he continued building. Not for money, for impact. What rich people do, number 3. Create multiple income streams. Third strategy, multiple income streams. Never depend on one source, ever. This is how the wealthy stay wealthy. Diversification, resilience, anti-fragility. One income stream equals fragile. If it breaks, you're broke. Multiple income streams equals resilient. If one breaks, others continue. You're still fine. Rockefeller had at least 7 major income streams by his 30s. 7. Not 1. 7. Oil refining, transportation, storage, chemical production, real estate, investments, banking interests, each generating cash flow, each contributing to wealth, each protecting against total loss. Why multiple streams matter? But I make good money at my job, you say. One stream is enough. No, my friend, it's never enough. Here's why. Reason 1, risk mitigation. Your company goes bankrupt. Your income goes to zero. Overnight. No warning. No backup. This happened to millions during recessions. Companies failed. Jobs disappeared. People with one income stream were devastated. But someone with 5 income streams? 1 disappears, 4 remain. They're fine. They adapt. They survive. They thrive. Reason 2, income acceleration. Multiple streams don't just provide security, they accelerate wealth building. One stream earning $60,000, you have $60,000 yearly. 5 streams each earning $12,000, you have $60,000. Same total, but now you have options, flexibility, growth potential. 1 stream doubles, now you have $72,000. 3 streams double, now you have $96,000. Multiple streams create multiple growth opportunities, more paths to wealth, faster acceleration. Reason 3, freedom and flexibility. Multiple income streams give you options, choices, freedom. Don't like your job? Quit. You have other income. Don't like a client? Fire them. You have other clients. Want to take a year off? Do it. Your other streams continue. One stream? No options. You're trapped. You must accept whatever conditions exist. No negotiating power. Poor people depend on one stream and lose all leverage. Rich people have multiple streams and maintain total control. The mindset shift from employee to wealth builder. Now we get to the transformation, my friend, the internal shift, the mental revolution. Because here's the truth. All the strategies mean nothing if your mindset hasn't changed. You can know everything, but if you still think like an employee, you'll stay an employee. If you still think like a salary worker, you'll stay trapped. Wealth building starts in your mind, then manifests in your wallet. The 5 critical belief changes. These 5 beliefs must change, completely, fundamentally, permanently. Change 1, from secure job to secure system. Old belief, I need a stable job, that's security. New belief, I need multiple income generating systems, that's security. The job is not secure. The company can fire you tomorrow. The industry can change. The economy can crash. But your own systems, under your control, diversified, resilient, actually secure. Change 2, from trade time for money to create value for money. Old belief, I work 8 hours, I get paid for 8 hours, that's fair. New belief, I create value, I get paid for that value. Time is irrelevant. Employees trade hours for dollars, limited by hours in a day. Entrepreneurs create value and capture a portion, limited only by value created. One has a ceiling, the other is limitless. Change 3, from work for a boss to build for myself. Old belief, I work hard for my boss. Maybe I'll get promoted. New belief, I build my own assets. I'm my own boss. Working for others builds their wealth. Working for yourself builds your wealth. Rockefeller quit working for others at age 20, started building his own empire. Best decision of his life. Change 4. From save money to invest money. Old belief, I save $500 monthly in my bank account. I'm being responsible. New belief, I invest $500 monthly in income-generating assets. I'm building wealth. Saving earns 0.5%, loses to 3% inflation. You're getting poorer. Investing earns 10%, beats inflation by 7%. You're getting wealthier. Change 5. From avoid risk to calculate risk. Old belief, business is too risky. Investing is too risky. I'll keep my safe job. New belief, calculated risk is necessary. Staying in a job is actually riskier long term. Poor people fear risk and choose guaranteed poverty. Rich people calculate risk and choose potential wealth. The biggest risk is not taking risks. The safest path is actually the most dangerous. Rockefeller's risk management. But Rockefeller was a risk taker, you say. I'm not. Actually, Rockefeller was incredibly risk-averse. He hated risk. He minimized it obsessively. But he understood something crucial. The way to minimize risk is to control outcomes, and you control outcomes by owning systems. Working for someone else? High risk. No control. Can be fired anytime. Owning your business? Lower risk if done right. You control decisions. You adapt. You pivot. Rockefeller started small, tested, validated, then scaled. He didn't bet everything on untested ideas. He proved concepts, then invested heavily. What will you do today? So here we are, my friend, the end. Or actually, the beginning. You now know the truth. Salary workers stay poor. Asset builders become rich. Employees trade time. Owners build wealth. You know what Rockefeller did. Business ownership, investing, multiple income streams, system building. You know the mindset shifts required, the beliefs to change, the actions to take. Now comes the only question that matters. What will you do? Your 3 options. You have 3 choices. Only 3. Choose carefully. Choose today. Option 1. Do nothing. Close this video. Go back to your job. Collect your paycheck. Live paycheck to paycheck. Retire broke. Same as most people. This is the default. This is easy. This requires no change, no risk, no discomfort. But it guarantees one thing. You will never build real wealth, never achieve financial freedom, never escape the system. Is this acceptable to you? Can you live with this? Can you reach age 70 and say, I'm content with this life? If yes, stop watching. This content isn't for you. If no, keep reading. You have 2 other options. Option 2, start slowly. Keep your job, but start building on the side. Nights, weekends, 1 hour daily. Launch a small business. Start investing $200 monthly. Research real estate. Create a digital product. Small steps, low risk, gradual progress, safe feeling. This is the most common path for successful people. They don't quit day 1. They build while working, then transition when ready. 5 years of consistent side building can create $50,000 to $100,000 yearly passive income, maybe more. 10 years? could completely replace your salary, could set you free. This is the smart path, the proven path, the path I recommend. Option 3, go aggressive. Quit your job. Go all in. Start a business. Invest everything. Move fast. Build intensely. High risk, high stress, high potential reward. This works for some, especially younger people with fewer obligations, or those with financial cushion, or those with intense drive. Rockefeller did this at 20, left his bookkeeping job, became a full-time business owner, never looked back. But he started at 16, had experience, saved capital, made calculated moves. If you choose this, do it smart, not reckless, calculated, strategic. For different starting points. If you make $30,000 to $50,000 yearly, focus on side income first. Freelancing, consulting, service business, anything generating immediate cash. Use that cash to start investing, even $50 monthly. Build from there. Goal: double your income in 2 years through side business, then scale or transition. If you make $50,000 to $100,000 yearly, you have more options. Split focus. Side business plus investing simultaneously. Invest 20% of income, $10,000 to $20,000 yearly. Build side business evenings or weekends. Goal: $500,000 invested plus $50,000 side income within 5 years. You're on path to freedom. If you make $100,000 plus yearly, aggressive investing is your weapon. Save 40 to 50%, $40,000 to $50,000 plus yearly. Also build business for upside potential and tax advantages. Goal: $1 million net worth within 7 to 10 years. Financial independence achieved. If you're in debt, pay off high-interest debt first, credit cards, predatory loans. Simultaneously start small side income. Use side income to accelerate debt payoff. Once debt-free, immediately redirect payments to investing. Goal: debt-free in 2 to 3 years, then full wealth-building mode. The final truth. Rockefeller started at 16 with nothing, worked as a bookkeeper, made $3.50 per week, saved every penny. At 20, became a business owner, risked everything, built systems, accumulated assets. At 30, owned the largest refinery in America, millions in wealth, multiple income streams. At 40, richest man in America, tens of millions in wealth, unstoppable momentum. At 50, richest man in the world, hundreds of millions, built an empire. He started with nothing, just like you. Maybe less than you. No internet, no technology, no modern advantages. He just had principles and applied them consistently for decades without quitting. You have those same principles now: business ownership, investing, multiple streams, system building. The only question: will you apply them? Will you start? Will you persist? Your decision right now. Most people will watch this, feel inspired, then do nothing. Tomorrow, same life. Next month, same results. Next year, still broke. Don't be most people. Some people will watch this, take one small action, then quit when it gets hard. When results don't come instantly, when obstacles appear, don't be some people. A few people, very few, will watch this, take action, stay consistent, push through difficulties, build relentlessly, and transform their lives completely. Be those few people. Because here's what I know. 10 years will pass whether you build wealth or not. Time passes anyway. The question is, where will you be in 10 years? Same salary job? Same paycheck to paycheck? Same stress? Same lack of freedom? Or multiple income streams, significant assets, passive income, financial freedom, real wealth? Same 10 years, completely different outcomes. The only variable is your decision today. Last words. If you found value here, subscribe right now. Hit the bell, because we're building a movement, a community of people who reject salary slavery, who build real wealth, who take control of their financial destiny. Drop a comment. Which income stream will you build first? Business? Investing? Real estate? Tell me. Commit publicly. Create accountability. Share this with someone trapped in salary slavery. Someone who needs to hear this truth. Help them wake up. Rockefeller built $400 billion starting from zero. You can build your first $100,000, your first $1 million, your financial freedom. But only if you start. Today. Right now. This moment. Salary workers stay poor. Asset builders become wealthy. The choice is yours. The time is now. Let's build wealth together, my friend.